Morning. Okay, I'm so excited. I've never done a video before, so I have this set up in this contraption, and I'm trying to look over it, and we'll see how it goes. So you start out with one long piece of ribbon, however long you want the tail of the bird to be. If you want it really long and flowy, then you make, obviously take out a longer piece of ribbon. Or if you just want short little stubby ones, then shorter ribbon. So the way I measure it is I just take one end and then I pull it up till it hits my shoulder, and that's about the length that I use. So you start and you fold it in half. Now you can cut this and have your two pieces now, but because we have to cut this, this is the beginning of our tail, this is what we're going to weave. I like to hold them together as two and cut them, and then separate them after. So we need to cut 4 strips. So I just go right in the middle and I just cut it up. Now, hi Charlie. We'll know where how far up you go depends also on how long you want the wings. So I typically go about there, so I don't know, that's like in 2 inches maybe, just under 2 inches. So then you go right down the middle, and then with the other 2 strands you cut straight down the middle with those 2 as well. Alright, so I'm gonna just cut this, and so I'm gonna cut this one all the way up in half, and then I'm gonna cut these 2 in half. Okay, so there's your first installment. So I'm gonna pause because this might, actually, we can figure out, never mind. So, sorry, I told you this was the first time I did something on video. Alright, so cut this straight up. I like keeping them attached because, you get them all cut at once. Make sure that's about the same. And then you do the other one and go straight up the half. So you get your long piece of ribbon, fold it in half, then cut straight up the middle, so you have 2 pieces, and then with each of those pieces you cut straight up the middle in those pieces, and again stopping about 2 inches from the top. Then that's when I separate them. There. So we have 2 buttons. So the first one, this is just the order I do it. Let me see that. Sloppy. We'll fix it later. So we have 2. I always start with the right because I'm right-handed. So it's all about weaving over, under, over. So with the right one, you want to start on the far right ribbon, and you want to bend it over like this, over this second one, and then I like to just crease it then. So over, then bring it under the third and over the last one. So it looks like that. So you start the weaving from right to left and you go over, under, over. Then you take your second one and you do the same thing. Over, so try and line it up so that's pretty straight line, and under. Boom! That's the right one. So now we can put that down. I'm just putting it right here on my knee. And then we take the left one. So with the left one, we start on the left side, and we want to do the exact opposite. So with the right one, we start on the right and we go over, under, over. With the left one, we start on the left and we go under, and then you can crease it now as well if you want. So it goes under and then over the next ribbon, and then under the last one. And then I pull it up, kind of crease it so it's nice and smooth. So under, over, under. Take the second one, and you guessed it, under, and then over. And then you just gotta pull it up and crease it so it's nice and smooth. Okay, so now you have the beginning of your bird. Now we're gonna just put it together. So we have the right one, we have the left one. So check yours, you can make sure that that's how yours look, with the right and the left. Now we are going to put them together. And the way you do that is I take the right one and I put it over the left one. And the way you know that you have it right is because these two edges will make a straight line. If you're facing it like the wrong way or however, then obviously it won't work. So right over left, and we have that straight line across. Now we're just going to continue the weaving. So we weave them together. So we're going to weave these two ribbons with these two. So you start on the inside. The last thing this one did was go under. So we need it to go over this one and under the next one. Okay? So that one went under, over, under. So then the next ribbon, you look at what it did last, it went over. So I hold these in this hand like this so they don't move. And that's what I love about this ribbon, is it just is so easy to just bend. So you go under and then over. Okay, so then that side, top side's done. Now we'll do the bottom side. Start on the inside. The last thing it did was go over. So you just pull both of them, like I do both at the same time. Under, then over. Then I take the second one, and the last thing it did was go under. So this one needs to go over and under. Okay, so we have the top part of our bird, and it's a good time to double check, because if you have any that aren't woven correctly, the bird won't it won't tighten up. So if you want to, you just do a quick double check. This started by going over, under, over, under, over, over, under, over, under. And down here, same thing. It started going under, then it came over, under, and ended with over. This one, under, over, and ended with under. Okay. Now, flip it upside down. What? Crazy! All right. So now we're going to start weaving all the sides together. And this is where the bobby pins can come in handy when you're first learning. So you want to hold the bird so you have it kind of like a firm base, because these are tending to curl under, so they'll want to kind of go squampus. So you take the two on your left and you want to bend them up and over. Okay? And then I like to hold them with my thumb, because now I'm going to weave these two into these two. So this way you have to kind of think upside down. So we'll start on the inside. So the last thing this ribbon did was it wove under. Remember? So it wove under here. So you can just look at it and realize the last thing it did was go under a ribbon. So you got it. It needs to go over the first one and then under the second one. So you just push that through and then pull it. And then I kind of will hold it down a little bit with my thumb. Actually, I don't. I usually just leave it like that. But to make it clearer to see, I'll just show you. So hold it. Now we have this second one that needs to be woven in. And the last thing this one did, you can look, was go over. And really, it's easy to remember, you just do the opposite. So since this one went under last, the next one will be the exact opposite. It would have gone over. So this one needs to go under and then over. Like that. Oops, sorry. Like that. So now if I pull these like this, those are the ones I wove. So now it separate, you know, we have this little weave that we've done, and then we need to be able to weave these two next. So this is where if it feels complicated, like there's a lot of ribbons going on here, that you can use the bobby pin. So I open up the bobby pin and I slide it right through the middle, like that. That way it just kind of holds it for you. And now I'm seeing the flaw in my plans because it would be easier to show you slowly so it's on a board. So let's do this. What? Okay, so this way. Sorry, I can't really see with the camera. Okay, so here's our thing all tucked in. So now we're gonna do the same, but with the bottom two. So it really honestly doesn't matter which side you go with first. You just have to remember the weaving is a continuous over, under, over, under. So I'm gonna start with the bottom left and I'm going to curl them up like this. And then I'm gonna start on the inside. The last thing this one did was go under, excuse me, over. So if you flip it around, you can see. Last thing it did was go over. So I'm gonna have it go under, over. So under and over. Okay. So since this went under, over, we know the next one has to go over and under. Okay. So now we have our second weave. And it's okay if it's super loose or if it's, you know, more tight together, it'll all come together in the end. So don't get stressed if it seems like it's just a big old mess. All right, so now you can take your second bobby pin and secure that weave together. See? Then you want to combine the two, just so it holds it in place. So I will slide this one over that one. Okay, so I know it looks like a hot mess, but trust me, it's all gonna come together. So you wanna make sure to find all 4 strands and make sure that they're separated out so you can see them well. So we have these 2 coming this way, and you have these 2 coming down this way. So the ones that were at the bottom are pointing to the top, and these are pointing down. The same will happen on the other side as well. You have your 2 pointing up, you have your 2 pointing down. Okay, so turn it sideways. We're going to work each side, and it's the exact same as before. It's the weaving, but we're going to weave it to the sides. So just to show you, because it's always important to do the double checking, this one, so you just follow the path of the last ribbons. So this side, the last thing, it went over and then under, and then let's make sure it went under. Oh, look, somehow it got switched up, so we want to make sure that we fix that now. So it went under last time, so we need it to go over. So I'm just going to fix that right now. Over, under. Super easy. This one went over, under, over, so that's correct. This one went over the last time, so it needs to go under this time. So under, over. Okay, so just kind of as you go, as you put the bird together, you just want to make sure that the weaving is always consistent. Under, over, under, over, under, over. So we have our 2 strands. Now we're going to take the right side and we're going to connect it to the right top part of this bird's body. So we'll go on the inside. Last thing it did was go under. So with these 2, we want it to go over and under. Voila. Then the next one, we'll do the exact opposite. This one went over under. So now this one, let's pull that up. We'll go under, like that, and over, like that. Okay. I know that I don't know if this seems super complicated as we're going, but it's so much easier in person. But we're gonna do this, Matt. Even if we need to FaceTime, we will get her done. Okay, so those 2 woven to this side, and that's done. So now let's do the bottom 2, and they need to weave in to this bottom, these 2 bottom. So the last thing this did was go over, so we want it to go under and over these 2. And then the next one went under, so we want it to go over, under. Okay, so those are done, separated out. It's looking good, my friend. Okay, so now whip your bird down this way so we can do the other side. So before we weave it into the ribs, as I like to call them, I really just made that up. Let's get these woven in correctly and make sure they're right. So we have these 2, and we can see that the last thing that this ribbon did was it went under and then went over. See, under, over. So it needs to go under. So under, over, under. So we'll take it and we'll have it go under and then over. Okay. So then since that went under and over, we know that the other one next to it needs to go the opposite. So over, under. Okay, so the weave is consistent and correct. Now let's attach both of these to their rib, as I like to call it. Okay, so we start on the inside. The last thing it did was go under. So with these 2, we want it to go over, under, so that that pattern stays consistent. Okay, so again, over, under, over, under. So the next one, that's right, does the opposite. It will go under and then over. Okay, and then the last one, the other 2 that were on the left, the last thing it did, the middle, the inside one went over. So with these 2, we want it to go under, like that, and over. And then the other one will be the opposite, over and under. All right, now it's all smooth sailing. So our bird, as you can see, we have our 4 strands coming up here, and we have our 4 strings coming up here. And since they're all woven in correctly, you can take out the bobby pins from holding its place. So I just hold this so nothing comes undone to pull it out. And then the same with this one. I'll just hold these so none of them come unwoven when I take it out. Now we have the body of the bird. Now we slowly just kind of start to make it form. So I gently just start to pull all four until it, you know, it's like a little bit tight. And then I do individual. So you can just start on either side and you just kind of pull one string, and then I'll pull the next one, and then I'll pull this one. It seems pretty good for right now. Look at this one, pretty good. We'll probably tighten them a little bit more at the end. So on the other side, same thing. Just start with one and work your way down. So I have it, I pull it, you kind of just gently hold. See, it might look like I'm destroying it, but I'm not. You just kind of gently nurse these into place until they're all pulled in and the body of the bird is starting to form. So I've pulled them all. That doesn't look good. It's only because some didn't get tightened the correct way as we went, and that's totally normal. So I might find like a problem child. So this one's out. So I'll follow it around. That goes to the base, so I'll follow it around to here. And you can see that that one belongs to this. So I'll just gently pull it, kind of get it snug in place. Then like this one's still pretty loose. So again, I'll follow it around so I can see which one is holding on to. It's this one. So I'll pull that little snug. And then this one, if I follow this one around, it's this one right here. And so I'll just kind of pull that. And so then you just kind of keep doing that until you have the body of the bird as tight as you want it. You just kind of find the loose ends, figure out which string it belongs to, kind of pull it in. Okay. So if they're not pulling very well and you feel like it's messing up the bird, just kind of like hold the body gently but firmly, and then just kind of pull them in. At this point, like I was saying, I'll look at each little one. So here I'll probably fix two more. So this one's up a little bit, so I know it belongs to this string. I'll pull that a little bit tighter. This pink one, and pull that one a little bit tighter. And then probably this last red one. Looks like it belongs down here. So I'll pull that in all that. All right, see? Pretty slick. All right, now finishing touches. So we have our bird up. Obviously it's flying this way, so this is going to be its head. So I get all four strands and I line them up together like so. And then I'm just going to tie a knot with it facing downward. And this can be wherever you want, whether you want a short little neck or a long neck. I usually do, you know, about that much. I don't know, what is that, an inch? And then I just pull them together, and then one, I'll wrap it around. I'm just making a normal knot, but you just got to keep them all together. Then you can adjust this if you want to tighten it high or low. You just kind of figure out where you want to tighten up the knot, and then make sure that's where you want it. And then I just kind of pinch it, make it a little bit snug, and then that's its head. And then we cut this, and I usually cut it down at an angle like this because it makes sense. And that's the little beak. So pull that tight, make sure. Oh. So with the wings, you can cut them separately, or I like to pull them together, and you just So I'll just bend them up like this. Match my two corners here. And adjust it so these match up. And then I'll start at the top and I'll just cut down. Usually for these birds I give it like a little bit of a like this. I'll go like just kind of like, these are crappy scissors. There. It's quite the sharp. Oh. Open it back up. You can fix it, you know, whatever. You don't like a little part of it. I know, I hate tea. So then the last thing that we're going to do is the tail. So we have 4 strands and we want to have 8. So you take each one and you cut each one in half. Like so. Anyway, you get the idea. So once you have all of these cut in half, it's totally up to you on if you want the tail to just kind of to be straight, just kind of hang down, or it's super easy to curl them up. And yeah, see, I'm totally not precise with these. They're all different lengths, but that's okay. You know, not all birds' tails are perfect. That's what makes them lovable. All right, there we go. And then I have one more. I want to snip it. And obviously, if you want more curls and more waves with the tail, if you want it to be a more full tail, just, you know, cut these in half again. Like there's no wrong or right way to do that. It's just preference. So you can either leave it like this. So you can either leave it so they're kind of like that, or the easy way is you just open up your scissors at the beveled end this way. And just start it right here. Okay, that way. Yeah, I'm doing that right. I'm looking through the camera, it's very hard. Okay, so then you just pull them. See, you can see what I'm doing. Slowly. And depending on how much, you know, how curly you want them, is just how much pressure you put with the scissor. Yeah. So there you go. You want the bottom one a little more curly right there, a little bit curly. I don't know, however you want it. It's all easy. And there we go. We have ourselves a little bird. And then, you know, obviously you can just sit it on, or if you're gonna put it on a light, you can either slide it sideways on the light and you can poke the light in here or on the other one. Or if it's more like it's flying, then I would take the light and just stick it like right up its butt. You know, you just maneuver it in here, poke it, and it'll just sit right there on the light. Or you can stick it down here. I mean, obviously, just poke her wherever you want. That's what she said. Okay, so there you go. If you have any questions, just give me a call. Hello, we miss you. You guys should come back early. That would be awesome. And now we're gonna fly. There you go.